So, we will go deeper to understand what we have done in the past. There should be a clarity about delusion and also the dispassion, the world outside, the real self, the knowledge, and the method. Last session, we understood that our action effort since birth is to increase peace and happiness. All our efforts are directed to that and to live into that peace and happiness. I gave a simple example. We get a job to be happy and peace, but what happens? The paycheck does not give me peace and happiness. Getting paycheck is not equal to peace and happiness. We got a little pleasure. So every day, peace and happiness. So what is the conclusion? Peace and happiness are not the properties of anything in the world. Whether it is honey or the gadgets or my increased qualifications. I can put a signboard here that I'm PhD, I'm MBA, I'm doctor. It has nothing to do with peace and happiness. But mind imagines, and that imagination is the delusion. Why that imagines? So what happens that imagines? It builds a small I. And the small I always likes prayers. I have already, we discussed a lot. Prayers means the mind is looking for peace and happiness outside in the world. It imposes, it creates a sense of imagination. And the big I likes Shreyas. Shreyas means what is right and good. Right and good. Understand that. Once we understand, the life is going to change completely. So small I always likes prayers, big I always likes prayers. Me word. That me word contracts the mind, creates a delusion, causes emotional dependence, and then we fall back into the sin. What should we do? The first thing, I'm repeating that verse, alasasya kuto vidya. When I'm lazy, the knowledge is sleeping. And when the knowledge is sleeping, nothing can be attained. My life has to be organized. Avidasya kuto dhanam. I don't get the inner wealth of dispassion. I don't have a time to think even what is happening to me, why I fought with a person, why I reacted, why I'm agitated. I don't have a time to think. This is what is known as the laziness in the Eastern West. Laziness is not that, adhanasya kuto mitram. So, because of lack of that knowledge, I do not understand my inner wealth. I have an inner wealth. What is the inner wealth? I got agitated with you. So I return home. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking against you. I'm reacting against you. Huh? We have a keyboard, shift and delete. Just delete from your life. So only the knowledge can help you to delete that. Oh, I got hesitation. It is because of the small I. What I have to do? Everyone exists. We should not have that kind of a laziness to continue to prove that how huh, I got hesitated because of you only. You are responsible. Understand that. Clear. Nothing in the world can hesitate me. Why? I am existence. I am the real self. I am the peace and happiness. I should have that big ego. You have seen in these last 2 years, many people joined and many people left, and others are continuing. So, there is a saying in our teaching that do not teach who does not want freedom from the mind. Why? Because they do not know what they want in their life. I'm coming to that. If we do not teach, then how they can learn? I'm coming to that point. So, as long as a person keeps the small eye of eat, drink, and be merry, even if they attend the session continuously for 10 years, they will not learn anything. They are busy in their pleasure. Their mind is always busy. They don't want to know. It is because of the small eye. So, what should we do? Leave them. If they join, very good. If they don't join, very good. Why? Because they are suffering from the three diseases. Do you remember the three diseases? Attachment and detachment, that leads to emotional dependence, and that results in sorrow and the suffering, anger, reaction, and hesitation. That is what the sin is. And ultimately, we are living in delusion. So, what our master says, it does not mean that we should not teach and guide them. It means when one is agitated, angry, obsessed, living with the three diseases, the teaching will not enter into their mind. We had a beautiful woman. She had complained about, I would say, 3 and 5 sessions. Everyone is getting such a good experience. I'm not getting it. So it's a better to leave. She left. And after a few weeks, she said, she was in the email list. And ultimately, she wrote to me that you delete me from the email list. Small I. That is very important. Otherwise, the teaching will not be realized. We avoid argument. We welcome right dialogue and debate focused on the real self. One has to be a seeker who understands that suffering is caused by the three diseases, not by anyone in the world. That results into delusion, unhappiness, dissatisfaction, insecurity. So our master says what? Again I am repeating. Vidya dadati vinayam. The knowledge leads to humility. And that humility is the capacity, ready, kindness, aware to know what I do not know. Take one example, simple. Yeah, today. Today, but David and Jerry is not there in our session. Just an example. And when they are there, I will say they are there. So if I do not know Jerry and David, I do not know their presence and absence. Are you getting it? I do not know their presence and absence. Sam is here. So it means I knew Sam before. That is why I say Sam is here, Lara is here. If I do not know, how can I say? So, but what is the humility here? Do I know real self? No, I don't know. How can I claim that there is no real self? Are you getting it? No. Yes. Oh, no worries, even if you are not getting it. You will be learning again. If I know this remote, I know the remote. That is the first thing. The presence and absence of this remote can only be known if I know it. So let me know the real self. Then only I can say it is not here, it is here. That is humility. Vidya dadati vinayam. And the humility leads to qualification. Then I know I am a seeker. I am not with the small I. Whenever the small I comes, I delete, shift and delete. Shift and delete from the life. Finish. Every day. Clean it. That is very important to, to awaken to the real self. Dadati vinayam dadati patratam patratvat dhanamapnoti. I get the inner wealth of discernment and dispassion, and that will take me to the right journey of this awakening. Next question comes: how we are available as a seeker and how we are not available as a non-seeker. We are going deeper. It came to me naturally. I don't know. Later on, I realized that. When Master used to teach, I used to sit steady. I used to get rid of the outer disturbances. I made myself available with the steady pose, with eyes focused on Him, to learn as if I'm welcoming. I welcome Him inside my mind. I'm relaxed. Entire focus is on gaining the knowledge. That is the journey of third chapter of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. But it says, asanam, sthira sukham asanam. It is not an okay, steady and relaxed pose is asana. While saying that I am fidgeting. Okay. And then I say, oh, that is the definition. It will not work. It has nothing to do with it. I have to live into that state. That makes me a seeker. So where lies the problem? Why it doesn't happen? The small I says it is my right. The right of the small I causes the disturbances. Are you getting it? Small I. One gets pain or pleasure from one person or one object or one situation or one event. Find out how my mind is upset. It is because of the expectation. What is that expectation? I invited an infection in my mind inside, causing triggers that builds my small ego. We create a separate identity, separate agenda. They are the symptoms of these diseases. That is why we have fear, we have anxiety, we have duality, we have conflict. There is no right of ego to be a seeker. The moment I trust my right of the small ego, I become a non-seeker. I become a non-seeker. And when we are a non-seeker, you are listening and learning and, okay, I know, nothing happens. So one right is the right of ego. What is that right of ego? See that I'm such a old weird guy, you should respect me. This is small ego. Don't you see that? I have, I'm highly educated. It means what? What I'm saying? I'm simply saying that you have not learned anything. Small ego. Right of the ego, if you push in your relationship, in your daily life, you are a non seeker. One right is the right of ego. You should love me, respect me, praise me, appreciate me. We have lot of expectations from others. So we have a kind of an arrogance. We make fun of ourselves. We make mockery of ourselves. So we, in Eastern wisdom, we teachers do not answer those people. Continue. How we do not answer? We deviate. So small ego says this situation or a person has made me irritable, reactive. There is nothing in the world that can irritate me. And what is the right of a seeker? Seeker's attitude makes every situation, person, events in life to evolve, to remain in peace and calm. Shift and delete. Learn that. Instantly from your mind, shift and delete. There are always tough challenges in our life. Maybe difficult. Maybe someone wants to irritate you. Shift and delete. Shift and delete by being aware. If your mind is thinking that I should have been treated better in any situation, with your honey, with your friend, with your colleague, it is the small ego is working. So now we are going deeper in order to understand. So instantly, I should have been treated better. 6 feet body compared to the entire existence. And we are thinking we should have been treated better. Come on. It has it is totally insignificant. So when your dispassion makes you insignificant, you become significant. What we are learning, how to get rid of those 3 diseases. It has deep root in the small I. So there is a right of a seeker and there is a right of a ego that makes me non-seeker. Right of a seeker is discovering attitude. It is love for the sake of love. It is respect for the sake of respect. I meditate for the sake of meditation. Love for the sake of love. Respect for the sake of respect. What we say in the journey, that teacher always answers to a seeker, not a question from a person. So you see the entire journey of this Eastern wisdom. The teacher is focused to answer a seeker insight. You join the program because seeker is already inside. But because of the small ego, it is hidden. It is not a formal education. It is the subjective knowledge, demands humility, aspiration to know myself. Seeker knows, strives to get rid of the 3 diseases. Why it is so? Ask yourself. The teacher in the Eastern wisdom does not want that you should have a split personality. You say something outside, you're asking something different. Asking something different and keep something inside, holding back. It is already a conflict in you. That conflict must go. To get rid of the small I, to move from the prayers to Shreyas. If it doesn't happen, then you may be doing meditation for years together. It will not bring any change in our behavior and attitude. I believe you're getting it. So there comes the beautiful relationship at the conscious level between the master and the seeker. And that relationship continues until the awakening takes place. Until the awakening takes place. Just think of it. In a series, small I, prayers. Prayers, three diseases. Three diseases, sins. What is sin? I invite unfavorable circumstances, situation, conditions in my life daily. I need to delete. The world is full of opportunity. That existence is offering me peace and happiness here and now, provided I shift and delete. Are you getting it? Shift and delete. Why you didn't give respect to me? I'm highly educated. Why there is no appreciation? I have done so much for you. Really? Can you really do anything for anyone? Can we really do? Humility comes. No, I am totally an insignificant. Even by thinking in that way, you are merging, you are melting the small I. You are dropping the prayers. You are going too far from these three diseases of attachment and detachment, sorrow and suffering. Just think only one. One event in your life. No, I should have been appreciated. I'm not. Now you carry this thought. You do not shift and delete. You are disturbed for about a week until you are appreciated by someone in the near future. That heals the little wounds, but the infection remains. Do you see that? Infection remains. And that infection creates a series of mental habits and attitude and reaction. Until the mind is pure, we cannot succeed. This is the impurity of the mind. So, what we are doing in this journey, we get rid of this small I. We want to replace it with the big I. Let us have a proud moment in my life that I follow the path of the Shreyas. I'm not expecting anything from you, from others. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Are you getting it? It is very important. So once that this movement of the big I takes place in the mind, what happens? That small I, unfavorable condition, reaction, expectation, they all drop from your mind. You are united with the existence at that very moment. You have already reached to the highest state of meditation, where the only thing is that we don't realize. And that realization comes by learning these simple principles. link. Link. I told you, I gave you simple example of shift and delete. Every day in the morning, check yourself. Check yourself. Vidya dadati vinayam. The knowledge leads me to humility. Vinayam dadati patratvam. I've already given an explanation. That humility gives me a necessary qualifications to treat the path of Eastern wisdom and treat the path of life. Patratvat dhanamapanuti. It is definitely going to give you the inner and the outer wealth. Whether you want it and you don't want it. It will definitely give you. No, it will take some time. It will remove unfavorable conditions. I'm not saying that, oh, I didn't get $10 million that, I fixed the target. I'm not saying that. What existence feels depending on your capability, your ability, and absence of small I, the result will definitely. It may take some time. No, I didn't get $10 million yesterday. No, I was thinking. I had what you told me that I had a big I. That is your small I speaking. Are you getting? Are you getting it? Your small I is speaking. You have an expectation from the world outside. You did not change your mindset. So the mind has set up you indirectly. You need a booster shot. Recently I studied, I was reading that we need another booster shot to prevent Omicron. Once that small I, whether you say delusion, you say three diseases, you say fear and anger and agitation must go from my life, you have to get rid of the small I. Don't exercise the right of the ego. Exercise the right of a seeker, and the life will change. Then you will learn, oh, I am already in the state of meditation. Did you get it? No worries, even if you don't get it, we are already learning slowly. So let us start our practice. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed, the body is steady. We're going in a very serious. Serious doesn't mean that you should not smile. Serious study means that now we are going to the positive aspect. That how to get rid of this small I, what is exactly is the knowledge, what is the real self, and what is that peace. So we will pick up 11 main topics. So eyes are closed, body is steady, mind is facing within. You see, every time I explain differently the first two steps. Body is steady. Reference point is now the small I or the big I. The small I will always disturb your body, will hesitate. Before the learning, during the learning, and after the learning. Body is steady. You experience that steadiness of the body coming from the big I. Now see how many ways our masters can teach us. Eyes are closed. We already knew it is symbolic. Small I is equal to body identification plus sense organ plus objects of the senses plus mind plus expectation. That is the small I. Now find out if is anything you. No. So when I'm none of these, body remains steady. Look at it. We should have a right knowledge, right of a seeker. And the mind is facing within, being comfortable, being comfortable. Being comfortable, I think I explain in many, many ways. Whatever the way you pick up, that is good. Look at the neck joint, one common way, and then experience the sensation pertains to the body. Comfort and steadiness, experience in the mind. Do you see? When I have an expectation from others, I don't have that comfort, that steadiness there in the mind. That is what I said, shift and delete. Fear, shift and delete. Reaction, shift and delete. Expectation, shift and delete. The shift here is that your mind shifted. Mind slipped. Mind moved only a little. You will enjoy the freedom. Move the mind on the shoulder joints, be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind moves on the hip joint. Be there. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body. Do you see how the powerful the wisdom and the knowledge is? If you apply the knowledge during the practice, no obstacle can stand in the journey. But to be that, I have to be a seeker. And to be a seeker, I have to work constantly on the mind, on my mind, not others' mind. Vidya dadati vinayam. Knowledge, humility. That humility, practical humility, ability, capacity to receive, to recognize and receive the knowledge. That is humility. Humility is not, I've been very humble to you and only you have been. That is small I. It returns in a very cruel way and it destroys us. Vinayam dadati patratvam. Qualification. Qualification again in the mind. Qualification of discernment, of separating so that we can shift and delete. Look at it, how simple it is for a seeker. Oh, my honey said me something. Oh, you said me. Leave this. Vinayam dadati patratvam patratvat dhanamapanoti. So I'm small I always expect something to come from outside. So what is this? Patratvat, what is that qualification? That I am one with the existence. Let existence provide me what is best, what is highest for me. I will continue to work, not with the small I, but with the big I. That results into ultimate peace and happiness. This is what the verse talks about. Yeah, we will do some semi-active step nyasa or synergy. Start breathing little deep, silent and slow. Check that. There is no objection coming from the small I. Means what? That is a rhythmic, deep, silent and slow breathing. Okay? So that breathing is what is? It is the car. Why we should have a car? We are going to meet our real self. Mind is the driver. So the moment you inhale, mind moves from inside the right arm, where it moves on the highway. What is the highway? The space. The mind and the breath go together, passing through the emptiness, reaching to the fingertips, and mind is saying Shan. Intellect is saying Shan Om Shanti. It is singing. When you exhale, mind moves with the breath from the fingertips to the shoulder in the space, singing Om Shanti. You see that what happens when the mind is looking into that emptiness? The past mind, you have shifted from the past mind. Again, shift and delete, so natural. But what is past mind? Past mind is looking for some association, some identification, some attachment. And that we removed by moving the mind into the space. Continue. Continue. No issue even if the body moves, but a recognition should be there. What is that recognition? The small I interfering. That recognition is enough. And then you will see knowledge of the Eastern wisdom is such a great power. Now move the mind inside the left arm. You know that small I triggers. I will teach why my kids are disturbing me in meditation. You are not at all concerned about them. Your mind is already inside. Oh, the temperature is very low or high. It is causing a trouble. No. Shift and delete. Today is a bad morning. Shift and delete. These all come from the small I. Prayers, expectation, attachment, emotional dependence. I have used a lot of these words in the last couple of months. So when you know it's so small I and I have not to support it, you are free. Om Shanti. Om is the real self. Do you love Om? Means do you love your real self? That is the job of a big I. Small I doesn't love anyone. It claims. You appreciate me, I love you. You don't appreciate me, I hate you. You see that? Move the mind inside the right leg. With that understanding, with that clarity, we are treading the path. And when that happens, I know the life will change completely. Right leg. Now we have understood this mind moving into the space with the breath, with an awareness and attention, saying Om Shanti. Actually, we are shifting and deleting what is not required. Small I is a taser. It constantly triggers, and we recognize them. They are inside. And we say, go too far, not required. And the mind moves now inside the left leg. Continue. And in that continuation, if you are continuing without any reaction or obstacle deep inside your mind, you can recognize it is the big I is doing the job. You see that with a little understanding. Within 20 minutes, the moment we have a clarity, we recognize the small I and it can be shifted and deleted easily. Now, inside the spine, from the crown of the head to the tailbone, Om Shanti. Get emotional. Can your mind say that I love real self? We have been saying, I love my smartphone, I love my honey. No, continue to do so. I'm not saying don't do that. But here, can you add one more? I love my real self. I love this existence. Even by thinking, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti. You're singing in your mind, Om, the way, as if you are in intense love for the. No, it is not objective. How can I let me know it first? When you are a crush at the first sight, you don't say, let me know first. And then you are crushed. But here, Om. Om Shanti. Now we'll go to deeper, leave that deep silence, slow breath. Casually move your mind inside the heart, in the cave of your heart, singing mentally Om. In the cave of the heart, the mind stands still, and there you drop Shanti. Recognize as if, as though the mind is stand still. In the moment, the mind starts moving. So you have a movement. Move the mind once again, deep inside the heart, in the cave of the heart, singing Om. Then Shanti. You drop one Shanti or three, doesn't matter. What matters that the moment the mind, the same mind, experiences as though everything is standstill, you have already transcended it. But the small I returns again. And that is the problem we are going to solve in the next year, one after the other. Shun, shun. You can let the time come. You will see when I say Om Shanti Shanti, and your mind goes deep inside the cave of the heart, even with eyes open, and you see, oh, it is happening. Why? It is there. Who can recognize the big eye? Small eye says it is always outside. In situation, in condition, with people, with things. From where? Three diseases. I've already explained to you. We have given the right movement to the mind and also a pointer if the mind stands still. That simply means the small I is not there. Nothing more than that. And when the small I is not there, you are already there. We are also recognizing how long we can stand. And only thing is required shift and delete. Nothing is required. Shanti. Shanti. And we say that mind is pure, it moves naturally inside the heart, the cave of the heart, while singing with emotion, with feeling. What is that feeling? I love real self. If I don't love real self, such is not, will never help me realize. And then, Shanti, a recognition. What is that? Cognition? It is cognition. Give an example many a times. Do I see only the waves in an ocean? Or I actually see what is real? Only water. I see the waves in the ocean, but I am aware of the water entire time. That is what is Om. small I makes us aware of the rest of the stuff. Do nothing, remain in the state of doing nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We will share our experiences, but we return in a specific way. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift here both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Kate?
I didn't want to come back.
Good. That is good. One day it will happen that you will never return.
I don't know, I got an ego.
You'll never return to this small eye. That is what I'm saying. How are you, Lara?
I am well. It was really quiet. There were some places I was getting distracted because of noise in our house. And so I got pulled out, but I was able to go back in pretty quickly. I did get a little stuck on the labels of being a seeker and a non-seeker, because then I started to go, well, is this like any different than being Republican or Democrat? And I was like, I don't want to be any of it.
Yes.
So I don't want to be a seeker. I don't want to be a non-seeker.
Yes.
I'm going to just be me and on this path and know that I'm doing the best that I can and just keep showing up.
Any thought pertaining to that comes, shift and delete. Continue the journey. Yes, yes. Hey, I appreciate these thought comes into the mind. Shift and delete. How are you, Stephen? Then we will go to Terry and Sam. Yes.
I'm good. Thank you for that. I agree with Kate. I did not want to come back
Good.
from this meditation. I would say in one word, I was absorbed.
Absorbed. Yes.
Mm.
Yes,
So,
that
thank you.
is beautiful way to explain. We will also understand, you see that is our master. We will understand what exactly is the self absorption in meditation. We should recognize, we should experience that. We should have the right knowledge. We are going to do that. That's really good. How are you, Terry?
I was doing pretty well, and it seemed to go very fast, but I got very distracted by mostly physical sensations. Mostly toward the end, the feeling that I couldn't take a deep breath. That's
Okay.
a distraction that I was
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
pulled out by. I think without that distraction, I would have done pretty well.
What you should do, the moment you have a thought, I cannot breathe deeply, shift and delete and continue.
Okay, I have to make an
Yes,
effort.
that is what the small eye takes many shapes and colors.
Wow.
So it is not that only deep breathing can be done to reach to that state. So for everyone, I'm just explaining, I'm not able to do it, but I'm doing something. Yes, let me continue. Let me
Okay.
continue. Good. But you didn't move during the entire practice, you see, that is really good. How are you,
Yeah.
Sam?
That was really good. Would also use the word absorb. And I would say beyond just the meditation, I've been noticing lately that absorption feeling is happening more and more throughout the day.
Good.
So the difference between how I felt during meditation today and how I hope to feel the rest of the day will be a smaller difference than it used to be.
That
At
is
the
very
beginning,
good.
I would meditate and it would be like, okay, I just got done with this. Oh, the world outside, crazy. Everything would change the rest of the day. Now that change is becoming smaller and smaller.
Beautiful. That gap is being bridged. Or we can say that we are in the state of meditation for hours and hours together. Beautiful. That is another stage of evolution. We are going to talk from the next year, and maybe next session we'll talk in detail about how the delusion catches us and puts us into these challenges. How are you, Bo?
I am okay. Beautiful lesson today because I spent a good part of the weekend here and there just telling myself, your ego is not your amigo. So the lesson is apropos. By the same thought, when I was meditating today, I felt it a little easier to slip away from
Good.
that small eye
Yes.
and drop back in. And that's nice. There were distractions. I actually left the phone on further away. That distracted me. I usually turn it off. But to slip back in was okay.
Beautiful. There is another deeper understanding. Does that phone is a living entity that distracted me, or is it a small eye?
Interesting.
It is not a living entity. Come on.
Right.
How a phone can distract me? How a sound can distract me? But that me had a past impression, carries forward, creates a small I, and then nothing in the world can ever disturb me. Why? I'm real self. That level of assertion in the mind makes me reach there. How are you, Vaibhav?
So I'm good. It was really, really deep. It's like that this thought that I just keep on repeating in my head that every action that I do is for the peace. So there should be a change in myself that I should be in peace and do the action.
I love this statement. I love everyone's statement. So now,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
so sir, because of this, the practice became so easy that now I know that I'm the peace and I'm doing something. I don't have to chase something.
Beautiful. I have not to chase something. I have not to react to something, even if the phone rings. Thank you, phone. I'm aware. Replace that phone with a honey and a long list. Done. You are free. Beautiful. That is how we share the experiences so that each one learns. How are you, Ashok?
Good, sir. It was
Good, sir.
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
Because I'm peaceful. Very good. How are you, Antoinette?
I'm fine. At one point during the meditation, I was struggling with the small I. And it
Yes.
was very interesting because my heart began racing. Almost, I felt like it was calling me back.
Okay.
And once I went back to that, dropping into the heart, it was just a very peaceful and almost like a huge release.
Yes. You see, there is another way the small I attacks us. Oh, you are anxious, Or we say anxiety is unfounded worries. Now, intellect understands, but mind says no. Do you see that? One definition of anxiety is unfounded worries. So my heart is racing. That may not be true, but the mind picks up. And when the mind shifted and deleted that, you were already there. Beautiful. How are you, Anesthesia?
Yes, thank you. I'm good. I felt my body was pretty light um, um, and warm, and I felt I understood that my body is my home. I felt inside like in a home,
Good.
and I had a thought like, it's comfortable home for me. It's just a home for something more that I'm not my body,
Yes.
and it was I felt calm and warm, and I was pretty deep in my darkness, and sometimes my ego spoke to me like, hello, I am here, and I told it like, we are there and there is beautiful, let's do meditation, not speak with me, something like that. It's like inside talk, inner talk or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And I'm struggling with my ego now. During this week, I feel in my body like sickness. I feel sick, and I understand that it comes from fear and from my ego. So this meditation helped me very much when you talked
Yes.
about waves and water, I got inside
Yes,
and
yes.
started to cry.
Oh, you can cry. You should have tears of the joy. That's what I have been telling. Younger generation must learn this so that, you see that you have, once you are young and doing the practice, you come out with so clarity, because mind is not so much engaged with the fear. And you rightly said the small I is the reason for my fear, my frustration, my reaction, nothing else. Nothing else. When I know I'm in existence, where is the fear? That is what we are approaching. Any question? Beautiful. I appreciate you all. Any question? No question. But sometimes I get scared of these questions. So that is all for today, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. ठीक ठाक है प्रभु जी.